Welcome to the Jake and Noah Show. We're here to show you about the funnel. Hello, welcome.
Welcome to the Jake and Noah Show. I think might call it the funnel. I don't know.
Jake, Noah, and the funnel.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We currently do not have any account or anything that we're going to post this video and podcast episode on. We're going to make this podcast episode and then create everything and then put it up.
This is the pilot. This is the first thing. Not the first thing. There's actually been a long time of years of Noah and I trying to make money together.
Which is essentially what we're trying to share with everybody is how we're making money and how we're attempting to make money.
How we want to make money. How
money.
other people are making money. We're just going to copy them. See what happens.
And show you what works and what doesn't. So if you want to make money online to further your life and spend more time with your friends and family, you can do similar things that we try or do that works for us.
Yeah, I'm excited to show this to Joe Rogan when he's on our show.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Anyway, my name is Jake.
My name is Noah. We are twin brothers who have been working together since high school, really, to make money.
So the first time we started making money together was at a restaurant called Smash Burger in Chesterfield, Missouri. And that's where it all began. We were just there making money together, being 16, just like everybody else.
While we were working at Smash Burger, which was our first job, we actually had a side business, which we didn't realize was a business at the time, no matter how many times our dad told us.
Well, our dad is very business orientated.
And always has been. He made a lot of money in the 90s and
He still makes a lot of money.
He still makes a lot of money, yeah.
But now he makes all of his money online. And it's like, dang, old man, I'm going to do that too. I'm breaking my back like I'm 50 years old in the 1940s. Not anymore. Now thanks to you. You and my funnel.
So we were taking our money that we were making at this fast casual restaurant and like reinvesting it, if you will, into our side business, which was a pop punk band. So we wrote and recorded pop punk music and tried to played concerts. And it was a fun thing to do as a teenager, but as a business venture, it was absolute horrible.
It was a money pit. It was a money pit. But
yeah, we thought buying equipment, buying recording time in studios, branding on social media.
The band was called Get At Me. If you want to check out the videos that we posted over 10 years ago in that band, then there will be a link below.
Yeah, it was called Get At Me. So we never made anything but good memories with Get At Me. We just poured a bunch of money into it and never saw really any money from it. You know, we'd get paid from gigs and then just go to Steak and Shake afterwards and spend it all on burgers and stuff. So
that is true. And then once we started drinking, man, there's no keeping anything around.
Yeah. So that was, I guess, our first business venture that failed miserably. And we got to a point when we were like 19 or 20 where we were getting kind of curious and we just lived in our cars in California and just kind of drove around, didn't have jobs. How we made money and supported it ourselves to buy food and gas and car insurance and stuff was by busking on the sidewalk in California or Oregon or wherever we were.
Which, honestly, there's like some nights just on the sidewalk that, I'd make somewhere between like $200 and $300.
I would say this was way more successful than the band.
I would say
there was like zero expenses. Like your living expenses was gas if you were moving, but a lot of times in California we were just like kicking it for like a week or two, so we didn't really need gas.
I spent like 2 months on Venice Beach. Never left.
So we didn't really need gas. We just needed food, and food is like cheap to free if you're like resourceful.
Especially on Venice Beach, man. Like all those boardwalk restaurants, like put out all of their food after they close their little, it's like a cafeteria window, They just like put out all the leftover food. So I was like eating everything that everybody was paying for the whole time I was there. But I was just like walking down
being
the
patient,
boardwalk
yeah.
until everything closed and just started stuffing my face. It's awesome.
And they were like really good communities. Like every night would like hand out free food for like homeless people or like less fortunate people or whatever, or like travelers.
And there's like
vagabonds, whatever.
there's even like a food pantry there that like gave clothes and food to like people who were under the age of 25, which was me at the time. But it was pretty much just like clothing and feeding all these kids that were just living on the streets by choice. You know.
So as far as a business venture, that was extremely profitable, and it like could have lasted forever, you know.
So my whole thing, and I'm sure you feel this too if you're watching this. My whole thing, or listening, whatever. But my whole thing is like I don't mind working in anything like that, but I don't like having a job. I don't like having people tell me what to do, where to go, things like that. So like living on the street in California, sleeping in my car, that was like the sense of freedom and adventure out of my life on planet Earth that felt right and meaningful to me. But the only thing that could have made it cooler was not having to be stressed out about making any money. So like if you could have that sort of freedom, but also have the financial freedom that all these people on the internet keep talking about, then that is beautiful human existence in my opinion. And that's what I was chasing after. And one thing led to another where we were like playing guitar on the streets, ended up working at, we were trimming pot on a pot farm up in like, you know, the Pacific Northwest somewhere. And then one thing led to another, and then
We started a business.
and another business.
Yeah. And that got shut down by the authorities.
And
maybe like
then-
6 months later.
Yeah, and then, you know, we did our community service and our
Paid our lawyers.
paid our
and
lawyers. We did what we
did our
had to
time.
do.
It's all good. It's legal now.
It's legal now, and in Missouri where we live, and now people are getting super rich off of it, and whatever. It's all good. But that was my first experience in my life of feeling like I was making a lot of money, and it felt good. Like before that, I was like, money's the root of all evil. You know, money sucks. Blah blah blah. But no,
Pretty hippie.
yeah, I was like a hippie for sure. But now I'm like starting a financial podcast, a financial freedom podcast, whatever.
Yeah. That's very hippie of you.
So yeah, that was my first experience making a lot of money. And then after that, I was like, all right, how are people out in the world making a lot of money now? Because I want to make a lot of money now.
Not get in trouble or go to jail.
Yeah, like legally. You know, I want to do this legally where I could tell people how I make my money instead of just like lying to everybody, including my mother.
And still maintaining that freedom, because you can make a lot of money, but work a lot. So business is
Right.
an avenue that we've found to make a lot of money and not have to spend a lot of time doing it.
And you know, I'm convinced anybody could, you know, be rich, like whatever that means to you. I think it's like different for everybody. But even if you're a kid working at McDonald's and you don't even graduate high school, I'm confident that you could work at McDonald's during the day and Subway on the weekends, and then just save your money and then reinvest it and just keep doing that. And then one day you'll probably be looking pretty good, you know? Whether you're investing it into, you know, real estate is like one of my favorite things in the whole world. But now with the internet, there's like so many different ways to use your money to make yourself money. It's like insane.
So after we got in trouble and started, like, I guess, trying to do some research on how people are actually making money and what we should actually be getting into, is, I guess, when you first got into real estate and opened my eyes about the freedoms that real estate can bring you.
And like how I came up on that, which what I'm about to say sounds like the most cookie cutter thing that you hear on every podcast, but I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was like the one thing because I was listening to Bigger Pockets podcast because I was like trying to get into the flow of thinking about real estate. I think I saw a TED Talk when somebody was talking about financial freedom through like having rental properties or something like that. And then I discovered Bigger Pockets. And then every single guest on Bigger Pockets was like, oh, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was like, okay, I should probably read this book. And it lived up to my expectations. I was like, okay, freaking game over, man. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and then Jake told me about the book, and then I read it, and we were like, okay, this is definitely what we should be like kind of pursuing a little bit. So we didn't know anything growing up. Like we didn't take wood shop. We didn't have any tools, any experience like working on houses or selling houses or anything about houses. So we just read the book, and it teaches you to work a job, to learn, to apply to your own business practices. So we both got jobs that helped us learn the construction and real estate industry because we had zero experience. So I I enrolled in the Carpenters Union here in St. Louis and was framing houses, new built houses for about 6 months. And Jake was became a real estate agent for like a year or so.
Well, I was like
managing properties and stuff.
I got a job at a property management company, and so I was like leasing all these people's houses that we're in St. Louis, Missouri. They were most of the people who owned the places that I was renting out lived in California. A lot of them like bought portfolios of these houses. Never seen them all. Is like, oh, I'll give you $1 million for these, 8 houses or something like that. And so it's like this big pool of rich people trying to invest their money into like a developing neighborhood in St. Louis. But through that company, I was able to get my real estate license, sell a couple houses under them. But, managing properties under the circumstances wasn't ideal for me, and I didn't really feel good about it. I was just renting out these like really not very nice places for more money than I thought they were worth, and having to be the guy telling people that we weren't going to fix stuff when we should have. But I don't know. It was a weird situation. Anyway, I got out of that. But after leaving that company, I was able to buy my first house. I was working for this company, and then I quit. I wasn't appreciative of their business practices, but through working for them, I was able to get a house that was boarded up and everything like that, and it needed everything. And so I quit that job. Noah and I actually used to bartend together behind the dairy bar at Fitz's Root Beer here in St. Louis, Missouri. And we worked there during the weekends, made enough money to live. And during the week, we would work on that house together that I got. And we did that from March to December-ish, like full time. And then, we did some stuff. So it took just a little under a year for us to pretty much be working on it every day. But we tore down the walls. Noah showed me pretty much how to frame a wall, frame this, frame that. So we tore everything down. And then Noah showed me what's up with framing. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And then we got into the drywall and the electrical I did with some friends that taught me how to do it. And so we redid the entire place, electrical and plumbing and new kitchen. It's got granite quartz countertops. It's like literally a brand new house straight from Home Depot and just installed into this old brick shell basically. And so I lived there for a little while. And then when I met my girlfriend that I am with now, I moved into her house after a little while of being together. And now I'm renting out my house full time after trying Airbnb for a little while, which Airbnb was a lot more lucrative, but it was a lot more work and a lot more stress. And there was just more consistent damage done to the property. And it was worth it financially, but mentally it put a lot of stress on me. So if you have a property and you're trying to gauge the two, you know, try them both out, see what you like. I personally like the full-time tenant better. I mean, it's less money, but it's also like you literally never have to think about it.
We were bartending together and working. We both worked 2 jobs. We had a steady bartending gig that actually paid us, and then I was framing houses for like $13 an hour as well. So I was framing houses and then going from like 6 to 3 every day, and then going to the bar from like 4 to 10 or 11 or something. So Jake was able to save a decent amount of money in order to invest into flipping the house, and I was just helping him with the labor of the house when I had time on my weekends, which was
How I was able to save so much money is I lived with my parents, and they were nice enough to let me just sit there and be on probation and just work my little self to death, you know? And so I pretty much, I was managing properties, working at the restaurant before I even got the house, but there was months and months on end that I worked 7 days a week. Like, months would go by where I wouldn't have a day off. But, in my head, the whole time I was thinking, I was like, hey, this is better than jail. Might as well just make a bunch of money. And so I, just stacked cash for probably like 2 years, just worked every day, 2 jobs that like paid okay, you know what I mean? So I was able to save up roughly $30,000 to start working on this house. And then in St. Louis, if you know the right people, they just give houses away. So I was able to purchase that house for a little under $2,000.
crazy.
So if you're looking to get into this, maybe move to St. Louis because
Seriously,
we
can't speak for the market anywhere else.
But like if you want to buy a house for a couple grand and like live in a city that's cheap, move to St. Louis because it's a super cool town, but it also needs all the help it could get to get where it should be or where it used to be years and years and years ago.
We were working on Jake's house and still working at the restaurant.
Is that going to be okay?
I quit framing houses probably like right when we got super serious about getting Jake's house done, because I was pretty invested into getting his house done because of the finished product. He was going to take out some equity, and we were going to like start a business where he was going to pay me a bunch of money for helping him out or something. We didn't really know what was going to happen with it. We just knew that there would be a bunch of money for us to use for something at the end of the project. So I was just on board to help out wherever I could, just to like have access to it, I guess.
Old Daddy Jake was helping his little buddy out.
But I was helping you out by showing you how to save a bunch of money and not like pay Mark a bunch of money that we could do ourselves just as good,
Big Daddy Noah was helping little old Jakey out.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. So,
if you don't have a twin brother, you should really go find one.
A business partner that you really trust really helps.
Yeah.
So I quit the union job where I was framing houses to help Jake out with his house. So I would treat that like a full-time job. I would go there from like 6 to 3 every day and then go to the bar. And
To work.
yeah. To work at the bar. And then in 2020, obviously, coronavirus happened, and we were still working on his house as it wasn't done, and we just lost our jobs.
So while we were working at that bar, we met a guy who became a regular at that bar. And then knowing a guy from the bar, a regular, he actually became one of our best friends in the whole world. And his name was Will, and he actually owned a fence company. And so Will would come in, when Noah and I would go play music at like a club or something, he'd come and watch us, and we'd hang out on the weekends. We actually became really close, Will and I and Noah. We were like the 3 amigos. Anyway, so like Nova was saying, the pandemic happened and the bar closed, and we're like, how are we gonna keep making money? So I called Will. He was a one-man show. He had his fence company. He didn't trust anybody enough to hire anybody to
Called
do
River
anything.
City Fence Company.
River City Fence Company. So he's like, man, I will give you a job, but you know, if it was anybody else but you, I'd say no. But you know, like yeah, like I'll give you some full-time work. That's fine. And so I worked with him like all throughout the pandemic. I mean, this was in March of 2020. I started working for him and worked for him for the bulk of that year of 2020. And I was just, I was driving him around all day, watching him go to the bank, collect money from clients that he finished work for, bid out jobs. I'd ask him, just pick his brain while we were in the car. Like, oh, so how much are you having this? Like this. And just like try to figure out how he's running his business. Because the dude was making a crazy amount of money just building fences around town. It was insane. And I was like, man, I want to do that. And, knowing I'd always, after my house was pretty much done, I was living there for a little bit, and we were like, man, like, we want to start a contracting thing, but, we want to find one thing. We talked about hanging drywall for a living, or like...
Yeah, we actually did a couple things, because while Jake was working for Will, for the fence company, I worked with Will quite a bit as well, but I mainly worked with my buddy Trent. What's up, Trent? If you ever hear this or listen to this. I know Trent from going to Grateful Dead shows around St. Louis, and he's an independent contractor that he owns his own business, kind of one-man show, but he does like renovation projects. So I was working with him, kind of picking his brain, see how he bids everything out, gets new clients, etc. While Jake was working with Will in the fence company. And then as it does, like when you rely on other people, like we found like through the pandemic, like working for sometimes just like doesn't have some follow through. Like I just kind of fizzle out with Trent because he was doing his own thing. I was working with this other guy, Josh, who was also an independent contractor that taught me a lot on how to like bid out jobs and run a business. And then my work with him kind of just fizzled out.
And it's also like, we're talking to them about money and business and stuff, and we know how much all these jobs that they're bidding out cost and how much materials roughly are and how much we were doing and how much they were paying us. Like, Will was paying me like $12 an hour, And, I saw him just like literally just reeking like tens of thousands of dollars every single week, because he just had such a good system down. And I wasn't like mad about it. I was like, okay, like I have no options, but I was like, man, I can't, I knew I wasn't going to be working for him forever, but, it's kind of like that thing in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where it's like you work to learn. And so we were both kind of working for different contractors for a while, and then we kind of teamed up. And
after our work with other people fizzled out because
we were doing like just handyman stuff, like we finished basements or like go hang light fixtures, just like whatever the heck,
like literally anything that anybody could use, which a lot of the clients that we worked for were people that I was friends with on my personal Facebook page. I had this Facebook page I started it when I was like 12 years old, and unfortunately it got shut down for some reason, and I had to like get a new account and stuff in like 2021 or so. So I had this account for like over 10 years and just like 3,000 friends on it, and it just kept us busy full time for like a year or so with just renovation work.
And it was like, at that time and that age that we are at, like a lot of our friends and people that we knew growing up, they were buying houses and starting their own families and things like that. And so it was just like good timing for, and then like the market was crazy during the pandemic too for, real estate transactions. So, I mean, we just kind of fell into it naturally at a really good time,
And we're kind of like forced into it from losing our jobs because I don't know if we would have ever had the courage to actually be like self-reliant on and like quit our job to run our own business.
Which, it always scared me, which I don't understand looking back at it based on everything because, you know, we were playing guitar on the street and getting by just fine. So I wonder why we were so afraid to like start our own contracting company.
when you have
know?
like bills and rent and like a car payment and all the payments that you need every month, you need to know you have like a reliable source of income. And like I didn't know I could rely on myself for a full-time income
It's like
until I was like kind of forced to.
if you've ever seen the second Wayne's World movie, if you book them, they will come.
So essentially, like start a business and it'll work.
Essentially, yeah.
Nice. So it started as a handyman thing, and we wanted to get into like more of like a niche and like a market that we can just stick to one thing and
Like get really good at doing one thing all day, every day. Just get like super good, fast, and efficient at it.
And the first thing we tried was seal coating driveways because our dad had a very successful contracting business in like 2007 or something like that, outside of
He then
Joplin, Missouri.
Developed his own sealer formula, made his own sealer, and then sold the formula. And
As well as like had a cruise doing contract work, doing like
he had
residential,
a
commercial,
he had a
seal
whole
coating.
thing going on. So we gave it a shot, and I hated it. We both hated it.
Yeah, just being out in the hot sun, like laying new blacktop on old blacktop, and
But this was still during the pandemic, so I liked the idea of being outside, like not being in somebody
people's house.
else's house.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, which was the initial thought because we were doing renovations and handyman stuff, and we just didn't like being inside of people's houses like during the pandemic, and like if we're there for like weeks on end doing like a finished basement or something, we can't like talk comfortably because we talk shit all the time. I don't know, like it was just more comfortable for us to like separate ourselves and keep outside,
Keep outside.
stay outside.
And then what happened was our buddy Will, he was at a stoplight here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you know anything about St. Louis, Missouri, it's kind of dangerous. Anyway, he was at a stoplight, sitting there, minding his own business. Somebody rolled up to him, next to him, in a car. They're both in cars, and just shot him 7 times in the head. And he died right there. And it was heartbreaking for us. And it was, you know, I've never lost a close friend before. You know, everybody in my life that's died has been like, you know, a sick grandpa or something like that. That isn't like so random and out of nowhere, you know. So that was, you know, emotionally pretty hard. But let's take the emotion out of the business side here. After he died, then we wanted to take over his company, River City Fence, but everything was kind of in probate, and he had deposits for jobs that he sold that we couldn't get access to. So we were just like, screw it, and let's just start our own fence company and just start from scratch instead of trying to piggyback off of his hard work, you know? And he only did fences. He was like a straight up, like strict, I build fences. But we were like, oh, let's build fences. Let's build decks. Let's pour patios. Let's just start like an outdoor construction, like a structural construction company. And so that's what we did. So mainly we just do fences and decks, but we'll do patios and things like that.
Yeah, so we started this fence and deck company. Will died October 2020. I think we formed the articles of corporation for this business like December 2020, and we really started like got our first fence project January 2021. And as of the date right now of filming this, this is September 2023, and we have been doing this completely full time ever since. We've just been working on our business, booking jobs. It started as Jake and I just building stuff ourselves, and then slowly adding more people, more employees, and then I actually we kind of split up, and I was just kind of focusing on the sales of the operations, and he was managing our projects.
Well, and it's funny because you know, you never want to listen to your parents, but when we started this, our dad advised us. He was like, "Okay, one of you needs to you don't build the fence, you sell fences, and the other one builds the fences." So, you know, we didn't do that at the beginning. We were just building them and then try to find jobs through his Facebook and stuff. But looking back at it, like, I would strongly suggest, like, if you have a business partner, probably just do that. Like, one person does the work and the other person finds the work from the get-go. Because once we started doing it this way, it was like exponential growth, like almost immediately. It's like,
Because it went from me spending 10 minutes a day on my computer trying to find new jobs to 8, 9, 10 hours a day on my computer trying to find new jobs. And obviously, you put more in, you get more out. And we've been booked for the rest of this year. We're booking our new projects for like January 2024. And we've been booked for the past like 3 or 4 months. So we booked out pretty much our whole year by April or May.
yeah. And I mean, in 2021, I mean, it got a lot better during the summertime, you know, but like when we started, and like it was never consistent. Like, we'd make some money off a fence, and then we'd have like maybe a week off where we're trying to like find something to do. And then maybe we'd pick up a big fence, work for a week or two, and then have 4 or 5 days off before we found the next thing.
And it kind of put us in survival mode because, like, every time we do a fence, we just go build it, get the money, and then we would have no idea when the next time we would get another dollar was. We just had to trust that the dollar would come, you know?
If you book them, they will come. But it was all it was also like we didn't have to like worry about it too much, because more often than not, for every job that we would do, we'd probably do their neighbors or their cousin or their
someone
brother.
would see us building the fence, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
need a
like
fence."
yeah, so like one job that we would get would usually turn into at least one more job, maybe sometimes 2 more jobs. Like, and then we do somebody, and then we'll do their parents, and then their brother the week after or something like that. So if you just like do really good work and you kind of show up and are like very professional, then people will just like suggest you to everybody that they know because they had a really good experience with you. And contractors are kind of like known to be a little shady, you know. So just be professional. And then if you're trying to be a contractor, I mean, I don't know what your adventure is at the moment, but I mean, we've managed to generate over the last 3 years, you know, well over $1 million between the two of us doing this.
Which is insane. I never thought I would be dealing with like hundreds of thousands of dollars growing up or getting into this business when we started 3 years ago.
No, I mean, now it's like we have our own CPA. We've got a warehouse. We got a guy on a sawmill up in northern Missouri cutting wood for us. You know, we got sales guys, a couple crews, company car, all within, you know, not even 3 years, you know. So at the end of this year, it'd be about 3 years that we've been doing this. So it grew really fast. And maybe if you're like looking to start a business, I'd strongly suggest just a fence company. And they're really easy to build, and people need them, and you get charged a lot for them. So, I mean, or decks. Decks are cool too.
It's been working out really well, and now we're kind of at the point where it's doing so well that we kind of get our systems down, and we were looking into like trying to scale it, but trying to scale this business, like, so I sell a fence. We have to buy a bunch of wood, go tear down a fence, dig holes, and build the fence. And it's a lot of work. So each sale that I make creates a lot of work for our business. And for us to scale and do more work, we have to hire more crews, which we have to find more people, and we have to like up our insurance. And it's a huge ordeal. So we kind of had to like decide if this is what we're going all in on, and just like really commit to reinvesting and reinvesting into this construction company that we started? Or do we want to maybe scale back and put our time and our money and resources into other business ventures as entrepreneurs that when we make a sale, it just gives us more money instead of creating more work for us to dedicate our time to? So through a lot of research online, obviously, we discovered that we have been making money this whole time like old grumpy men. And
in the 1940s.
In the 1940s. Like, we were running a business, like, the internet doesn't exist apart from like email and like my design rendering. But as far as like,
And
our
also, like,
business,
we get most of our business through our Google page. Your
yeah.
camera's about to die.
So through trying to figure out how to scale our business, we realized it was going to be way more work than we wanted to get into. And we realized,
I mean, we're not afraid of hard work, but there's just a lot of liability, we decided. Because we're working with power tools, working on people's houses. It's just like we got a good crew that's small that generates a lot of income for the two of us. And so, I don't know. We just don't want to mess with it and try to grow it into something that is more of a pain in the butt than it already is.
yeah, so I think the route that we decided to go with, through realizing what online business is and how we need to get into it, we realized, I think, that we need to, instead of scaling up the construction company, maybe scale it back.
Not scale it back. Just like keep it where it's at because it's at a good spot,
Well, we talked about doing, like, focusing more on fences and just cutting down to like one crew and stuff, instead of like having 3 crews and doing a plethora of random things.
Right.
But we'll figure it out. That's kind of besides the point. The point is that we realized, came into the realization of the world of online business, and that's kind of where we want to put our time and invest our money, because it seems like it will free our time and be a lot more lucrative a lot quicker than building a physical business.
Yes. And I love online courses. I've taken many of them, from like business to guitar or anything. And I love them so much. And I just wanted to be involved in that and, try to teach people something that I love, that I feel confident in. So
to make money online, you need an offer, a way for people to give you money or something to sell people. So Jake and I have spent the last month or so creating a course showing people how to build a deck. We own a deck company. We build decks all day, every day. So this course shows, in the simplest way that we can construct language, how to build a deck and save yourself a lot of money on building your own deck, and potentially make some money starting a business on it, which would probably be like a different course that we start later on how to start a deck business or something. But we've been putting a lot of our focus onto this course that we're about to launch, which is why we are kind of documenting the process now, because right now we are without an online offer, and by the time anybody really sees this, we'll probably have online offers and already hopefully scale them to the point where we are making money.
And if you're still with us here, we appreciate you. But the main thing that I want to do throughout this YouTube channel is to educate and, I guess, influence others who are out there, because Noah and I we are nothing special. We don't come from money. There's nothing really special about us. We're just pretty much average.
We're pretty dumb. Like, I got an 17 on my ACT in high school. Like,
I
we didn't
did
go to
worse
college.
than that, yeah.
Like,
We're dumb.
we're dumb.
We're not intelligent.
We're not intelligent.
But we have a good work ethic.
And we're creative.
And we're creative, yeah. So, but, we're like, if we want to generate a semi-passive online income that gives us the life of freedom and financial freedom that we so desperately desire. And we are here right now, starting it, documenting our journey hoping that it works out for us and it will influence you to start something yourself, because we are no special, there's like nothing, there's no difference between us and you. There's literally, the only difference is we're on this side of the screen and you're on that side of the screen.
Which I've come to realize are the two types of people on the internet. There's two types of people online. There's people who create offers and create content, and there's people who buy offers and consume and watch content.
But I also think one doesn't necessarily mean you're not the other either,
Well, obviously, people who make money online spend money and consume content, but it's like a give and a take. But a lot more people are just giving than taking.
I would say a lot more people are taking, like consuming, rather than creating. Right?
Well, giving creators money.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like they're paying into this pool of online money that people are making money from and not making money themselves on it. Like through Home Depot, through Amazon, through YouTube, all these huge names, all these huge companies, you can either pay them for their services or you can get paid by them for helping them with their services. And I didn't realize that until I did some research and took a couple online courses about online business and making money online. And it just completely shattered the glass of my realization of what everybody was doing on social media, how people were making so much money and having all the free time and finding all the followers, and it all kind of came together for me here in the last year or so. I'm doing endless research and trying to find the right people and take the right courses to kind of figure this out. And I think we've done enough research and enough figuring it out that the only thing left for us to do is really just implement what we've learned and kind of put our knowledge to the test and kind of work on building something and scaling it, because we build stuff all the time. It's just in the real world.
And now we're looking to build stuff in the digital world. That's cool.
Yeah. So, how do we do that, and how are we so confident in doing that? Really, online business is just creating offers, which is just a service or a product. A service offers more like freelancing, like editing videos for people or editing photos or creating content for other people. That's something I was kind of not trying to get into, because it is more so of what I was trying to get out of about the physical business of every time I make a sale, it creates more work for me. And I don't want it to create, I want all, with product-based businesses, all your work is pretty much upfront, getting the product, and then all you have to do is sell it.
And that is that was the thing that made me fall in love with real estate and having property that you use as like a source of income, is that house that we were talking about. I put in a lot of work and a lot of money for about 2 years, and that was about 2 years ago, and now I never think about it, and then it just constantly gives me money, and it's just like one thing I built up and then never have to think about it again. And I love the idea of spending a lot of time on money on one thing and then never having to think about it again, and then it just continuously pays you forever. And it doesn't necessarily create any more work for me, like he was touching. So we've always been like a service-based type of business, you buy a fence and then we have to go and install it, and that creates work, like he was saying. But I'd love to be selling products. A lot of people online make a lot of money off drop shipping, cheap Chinese crap that they buy ads on TikTok and crap like that. I'm not about doing I'm
not trying to hate on it.
I'm not trying to hate on it either, but it's just not my vibe.
It just, I want to feel good about the value that I provide for people, and just feeding into cheap dopamine, Chinese gadgets for $5 to $50 a pop, and just trying to scale some random bullshit product on Spotify or Shopify. Just didn't really seem to resonate with me or us, I guess.
Yeah, and I think especially after COVID and where technology is going, I really see the potential and value in online learning. And I just feel really good about taking things that I know and like teaching them or sharing my lessons and knowledge with other people. So the deck course is one thing, but then also this YouTube channel is the same thing where it's like, oh, if you really want to tune in on like, hopefully how we're making money, we're not yet, but hopefully like you could be
online.
Watching this. Yeah. Making money online is what I meant. But, hopefully you'll be watching this in a year or 2 or 3 from the very beginning and be like, wow, they make a lot of money now. Let's see how they all started. Well, it starts with this
Video right here.
This
No
video
followers,
right here.
no money.
No followers, no money. We are almost done creating our first offer. It's not complete yet, but it should be in the next couple of hours as we sit here and work today.
So that's kind of what we want all as entrepreneurs, twin entrepreneurs, as twin brother entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs. Every project I work on, I would, for the most part, I would like it to be all the work up front and then just pays us forever. Like Jake's rental property, he's got all the work was up front. Now he pays him forever as long as he doesn't like sell the house or move back into it. Simultaneously, while we try to create this online course that we sell, that we put a lot of work in, that'll hopefully pay us forever. We're trying to reorganize our fence company to do the same thing by reconstructing the management crew. So we barely have to touch it too. So our physical business is also automated. So we just start projects and then automate them is essentially what entrepreneurs do.
Right. And, that's a big thing right now. It's like our fence company is nowhere near automated. So, we both work on it, anywhere between 40 and 60 hours every single week.
We thought starting a business would lead to our freedom, which in theory it does, because we don't have bosses. We don't have like request time off or however much money we want to make. There's like really no cap, but we kind of built ourselves into a 9-to-5 business, or like we built ourselves a job pretty much. Like
we just have a job and you're your own boss, but it's pretty much just having a job.
Yeah. Like the business needs us in order to operate, which is what we're trying to get away from, so we can focus on our online business ventures.
And then, we always like work, so it's like, I did this house, it generates income. We built this fence company, it generates income. I like building things, whether it's a structure that's physical or like a concept online or a business that's tangible. I like building things and then walking away from it and building something else. And so if I spend 10 years building up a fence company, I don't feel fulfilled from that because, I have the drive to just
do a bunch of random stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing too much of one thing is I don't want I don't want to ever feel burnt out about my fence company or any online offer or like traveling, or like I was getting burnt out on traveling, living in a car. Like after I stopped living in a car, I didn't travel for a really long time because I just like got bored of it,
Like, oh, I'm somewhere new. Cool.
Oh, cool. I don't know anybody. Oh, a beach. Nice.
Oh, sick. Yeah,
Sweet.
water.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's so funny, like fantasizing about life and goals and then getting there, and it's just not as cool or like as fulfilling as you thought it was. Like you are where you wanted to be months or years ago, and now you're just like looking at another place to go and like the next thing to do. You're not like truly ever satisfied, which I guess is good as entrepreneurs because it like keeps us going, and hopefully we'll.
I remember when we were
Fruit into
bartending
life,
together behind the dairy bar making root beer floats for people. We'd be daydreaming about owning our own construction company and not having a boss and, this, that. And, here we are 4 years later and we're like, we own a construction company and we're our own boss. Great.
Yeah. So I hope that in 3 to 4 years, it's like, oh, wow, we're making videos about wanting to make money online. And now we're like online millionaires or billionaires, depending on how well it goes.
or
Or the world's first trillionaires.
or just a modest amount of money that helps us live our life more comfortably. I don't know.
Yep. The sky is really the limit. I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at. I've got like probably close to $100,000 of debt between like some property, like my piece of land, credit card debt, some personal loans I've taken out. So we got to get into like some serious money, and I got to pay off some serious money before I can even like consider any money coming in, like new money, you know?
Right. This is money that I told somebody that I would have by a certain amount of time. Please, sir, if you give me the house today, I'll gladly play you on Tuesday.
Just do that to enough people, and you'll find yourself in a very stressful situation.
Where you're like telling the world about it on a computer screen. Hoping that works.
hoping that'll help. But like, I don't know. I'm so glad I didn't go to college, because other people are in the same situation as me and still have like 30, 40, 50, $60,000 of student loans that they got to pay off that I don't personally have to deal with, which is going to be a great marketing avenue or position, I feel like, for our course, because, you know, people spend 10, 15, 20, $60,000 on college degrees to go get a job to make money and pay that money back. But with this course on how to build a deck for $300, we're starting it right now in September 2023, you can immediately start making like $10,000 a month, and you don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, like, I would say the biggest mistake that we made
was hiring too many people too quick.
Yeah, for sure. Looking back at it, it's so obvious that we should have just been rocking with just us until we had
a bunch of capital
cash
built up
in the bank, and we just pretty much like should have roughed it. But you know, we got really excited when Noah started selling jobs, and a month later he had like 30 jobs to go do. We were like, oh, cool. Let's, you know, we
need
get
a
the
bunch of
deposits.
people, yeah.
We need a bunch of people.
Because then it would have taken us forever to go through all that shit. Like, seriously, I don't think it was like possible, you know?
It would have been. We just had
to been
work
more upfront with the people. It's like, yo, there's only 2 people, like, or like take less jobs, you know. But it's like
take less jobs, or just like work longer days, work on weekends. It kind of really depends how driven one is to make a bunch of money. But you take our course, you learn how to build a deck. You could immediately, you know, start on your house, your parents' house. Go try it once before you start trying to, you know, do it for other people for money. Is all I would say. Whether it's your house, your brother's house, whoever, just do it once, and then once you do it once, you'll be good.
Like, yeah,
you know,
like,
you're
okay, I got it from here. And every single deck, you just learn like a little bit more, and by like your 5th, 6th, 7th deck, you'll be a master at it.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy if you're not like a complete idiot. Which
even
some
if
of
you
might
are,
be.
I mean, there's a bunch of complete idiots out there building decks that we got to tear down.
That's so true. Yeah.
A giant river instead of water. It's full of dollar bills and coins,
And it's literally endless.
and it's literally
literally endless. It never ends. There's all the money ever in there.
and it's a big
Plus
river.
some.
And then also with little tiny canals and streams goes off every river, you know, even if it's just over here.
A little trickle
little
here,
trickle
or like
here.
a huge trickle there, or like a
Or sometimes they'll kind
whole-ass
of split
creek.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways the river can split off from itself into a different stream going into a different direction. And so essentially the internet is that river. There's this continuous flow of transactions and advertising and everything like that. And, you know, people are making money because they are essentially building themselves a little funnel from that river towards their well for their house. So they have water from the river to drink and bathe and things
And
like
live.
that. And live, yeah.
and that they just have to create their funnel or their stream of incoming water back into their own personal bank account.
And it's just all it takes is getting, spending maybe a couple months to a couple years with a shovel and digging out a little canal that flows into your well for your house.
And the more time and the more consistent you are with it, the quicker your stream will be flowing to you.
And the longer you build that canal for, the wider you could make it to release more of the water flowing into your own personal well. So, you could set something up where you're making like $4,000 or $5,000 a month online, and then you could essentially just stop and keep it there. Be like, okay, cool. Like, I've been living off of $4,000 or $5,000 a month for the last 10 years. I could stop here. Or you could just continue to try to scale what you got going on and just scale and keep working. And then pretty soon you could be making $4,000 to $5,000 every single day. Or you could even be making, it's endless. You could make 500 grand a day if you wanted to, all just by like digging out a little here. And it's like having multiple sources. So you got
Streams.
Yeah, you got this over here on YouTube, you got the Instagram, you got online affiliate marketing, you got a couple YouTube channels. Some is a personal brand, some is faceless. There's just like so many different ways. You could even, buy ads for Amazon a link and try to be an affiliate for Amazon. And
so let's kind of the whole metaphor is can be inspiring, but also I feel like confusing. So like in the most simple way to explain it directly of like what we're talking about is providing an online offer for somebody in a way for you to take payment for people that goes back to your money, to your bank account. You just need literally anything. And this offer can be products or services. Most of the time, they're one of four things. A digital product, which is the absolute best, in my opinion, because with services, obviously, it creates more work for you. With shipping things, the things can break in the mail. They can come late. They can be delayed delivery times. Just so many things can kind of go wrong with that, and they can not like the product because you marketed it too well for the quality of the product. But with digital products, you market it, they buy it, they download it immediately. Transaction is over, and you don't have to worry about supply chain of products of materials to make your products or mail or anything. It's done. So that's the avenue we're choosing. You can also do affiliate marketing, which is just marketing other people's products.
So you don't even need to make your own product or have your own digital or physical
You can
product.
go to like HomeDepot.com or Amazon and find affiliate links and just start promoting other people's products with links that they already created for you that go back to your bank account. Amazon's got an amazing affiliate program that people are making thousands of dollars on every single day just promoting stuff that they use.
And then also it's just like how we're saying, it's like, like this endless stream of money. Like people will forever just buy things off of Amazon. It's a trusted site. The delivery is quick. So if you're not trying to like be a personality or have your own brand, like I think, getting into like digital advertising for
Freelance
Amazon.
digital marketing is kind of what they call it. So.
Freelance digital marketing for specifically Amazon products, because people are going to buy products off Amazon either way. So why don't you just like kind of grab a little bit of money there, grab a little bit of money, grab a little
what's
bit of money.
What's amazing about the Amazon affiliate program is so if someone clicks on your affiliate link, you're promoting a product. Say I'm promoting this microphone. And someone clicks on my affiliate microphone link.
By the way, you could get the same microphone in the link below.
They can get, it's a Shure SM 7 or 58. Shure SM58. This is a Shure SM7B. They're link in description. Affiliate links. Anyway, so you click on an affiliate link for a specific product, and then you realize you're looking at it, looking at the reviews. You realize that you don't want that microphone, but you actually want a ring light instead. You stay on Amazon within my link and you buy the ring light and some toilet paper. I would still make a commission off of that ring light and the toilet paper, even though those weren't the products I was promoting. I was just promoting the link to get you back to Amazon. As long as you stay in Amazon from the affiliate link, you will get a commission from whatever they buy. So you just got to get people to Amazon.com and you can start making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every day, week, month, because people are already spending thousands and thousands of dollars on Amazon every day. So
And
why don't
you don't even need like a YouTube link or a lot of followers on Instagram or X or whatever your platform is for social media. You don't even need a lot of followers to get people to click on your Amazon link, because what you do, you find a product, you could target, market, and take out ads that you pay for a specific audience that would likely buy this microphone. And so, you know, you don't need a following. It could be all be faceless, and you're creating an ad on Canva, which is free, and then posting it, paying Instagram and Facebook to put it in the face of people like Noah and I that would probably buy the microphone if it got advertised to us enough times. And so then it's just kind of balancing out how much money you spend on the ads and then how much money you actually make on the link. And you know, if they're not balanced, maybe pick a different product for a wider audience or something like that. And
or a higher ticket product.
Right. And we're talking like we're experts and this is how we make money. This is
But
not-
we haven't
done
done
it yet.
any of this. I've made like $3 on Amazon affiliates. I haven't like really spent the proper time into affiliate marketing yet, but I will, and I'll let you know.
We have spent a lot of time researching pretty much all the different ways, and now we're going to be executing what we have learned, but we haven't like executed anything yet because we are currently running a construction company that like consumes our lives, and we are now trying to get ourselves to the point where our construction company is automated, so we can actually, funny enough, spend our days making videos on YouTube and then like buying ads for Amazon products and just literally random things like that, seeing what works, see what we like.
Just doing online business. So the main ways to make money online are selling digital products, affiliate marketing, selling courses, which is what we're about to do.
Which is a digital product.
Kind of. It's like a community too, and like a subscription too. Like some courses you pay like monthly to, and you're just like part of it. You know, it could be a different thing. Another way is coaching calls or webinars. So you're marketing yourself and your knowledge for people to reserve your time to coach them on your specific niche or your expertise. Or if you're hosting a live class, you can sell tickets to the live class. So you market the class and the tickets, and it's like a live event. Those are like the main ways. We probably won't do many like online live events, but we're definitely going to get very into like the online selling digital courses.
Unless we get
digital
some
products.
street cred where we're making a bunch of money online and
Start doing
really
coaching,
figure it out and want to share our knowledge with the world. I don't know. Right now, the only thing we know how to do is run a construction company and build a deck. So that's kind of what we're leaning on right now, as far as like a online offer goes. But
Because
better that we figure out this business, hopefully we will. If we just spend, as you know, if we spend 40 to 60 hours every week for 3 years, like we did on this fence company, on online fucking money making, I think we'll probably see very similar results and success.
Yeah, from the research that I've done, taking this seriously, which means posting consistent content and monitoring your offers and putting consistent money into advertising and marketing for your offers. If you're really serious about it, like six months to a year is really all you need to start really making some money that you really don't have to like work another job, and you can just scale it from there.
As we're wrapping up here, this is going to be like a really nice checkpoint. So it is September 16th. September
2023.
16th, 2023. I want to check back in. I want to make a video on September, November, December, January, February, March, April. So
April 16th.
April 16th.
2024.
I want to make cuts of this specific video
added into April 16th, 2024 video. That'd be exactly 6 months to the day that we even started. Okay, so this is our first YouTube video, and our camera has died twice, and our card is full, and
We got some shit to figure out as far as our equipment goes, but
we sure do. Just for reference. And so basically what I was saying before the camera died, we want to cut this part of our September 16th, 2023 video into our April 16th, 2024 video, 6 months to the day that we started this YouTube channel this Saturday morning, and see exactly where we're at, because we have no followers, no subscribers, no videos, no content, and no money at all coming in online.
should we just stop it there?
Maybe. I was thinking that's what we would end it on, but if you're still with us,
Thank you for listening.
thank you for listening.
And
Thank you
let
for
us know
being
in
a
the
part of our
comments.
funnel.
Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We'll put all the links
And
in
if
the
you
description.
if you set yourself up a funnel, then we'll be happily be a part of your funnel too. Let's just funnel each other.